Our area's most beautiful properties deserve the finest realtors. Meeks Realty Group. We focus on buying and selling residential and commercial properties throughout the tri-state area. Contact Meeks Realty Group online at meeks.us or call 304-440-1101.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
Hey, folks, a good Friday morning to you from the Farmar Store Studio. Well, Farmar Store Studio, remote studio, I guess you would say. Welcome to the Dave Allen Show at 580 Live. I'm the voice of Charleston, WCHS. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. Bigley, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Ruth Pharmacy, text 304-935-5008. We do the show from the Farmar Store Studio, even when we're on location. Not a Parmar store near you now. There will be soon. Parmar and Game Changer presenting the annual Parmar Shootout on the campus of West Virginia State University, February the 5th through the 8th. 4 big days, 8 exciting boys and girls basketball games each day. The first games tip off at 9:30 a.m. For a complete list of games, visit Parmar Stores on Facebook or X. And remember, if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you by Thornhill Auto Group, including Thornhill GM Superstore. If you're looking for a powerful, luxurious, and innovative truck, then come check out the 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LTZ and High Country. Find new roads to Thornhill GM Superstore. Click or come by at thornhillgmsuperstore.com or on the road to total savings at Thornhill Motor Mile US 119 in Chapmanville. Well, as you may have guessed, if you looked outside your window, I'm doing the show on remote location today. I hope everyone is safe and sound on this wintry Friday morning. More snow and nastiness coming up throughout the day, and at least until, they say, tomorrow midday or so. We're going to talk about the weather with Spencer Adkins, our good friend from StormTracker 13 WOWK-TV, coming up. Plus, next week is School Choice Week here in West Virginia. Doug Cipoletti is going to stop by. He's with the West Virginia Virtual Academy. He's going to stop by to talk about that. And we kick off the 2023 edition of the West Virginia Hunting and Fishing Show over at the Coliseum at the Convention Center later today. Our sister station, 96.1 KWS, will be broadcasting live from there today and tomorrow. Plus, you just heard Carrie talking about the return of Chris Lawrence. Chris has been off for several weeks recovering from hip replacement surgery. Now, let's face it, ain't nothing going to keep Chris Lawrence away from the Hunting and Fishing Show. Just not going to happen. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on as well. And we've got Hannah Gardner standing by with our Not Me Please Pet of the Week. But before we get to Hannah, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who helped make our first annual Thornhill Auto Group Drop Your Socks campaign for Mountain Mission such a huge success yesterday. This station, Superstar Country, KWS, V100, The Beat, The Mountain, ESPN Radio, KAZ, all of us spent a cold day out on the parking lot yesterday here at 1111 collecting socks to be given to the needy, courtesy of Mountain Mission. And you hear me say it all the time. We simply have the best listeners in the world. So thank you so much to all of our listeners, to Thornhill, and also to Chick-fil-A for providing us with some free lunch, too. You guys are the greatest. We got lots of pictures posted on all our social media, so if you get a chance, go check those out. All right, Hannah Gardner is here with our Not Me Please Pet of the Week from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association. Hannah, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. You enjoying this balmy 85-degree weather?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I did want to mention I was checking out your guys' social media. I think you guys are going to have to close the shelter today. Is that right?
Yes. The shelter is closed to the public today, but we still have any employee there that we can get there safely to help us clean kennels, help us get everything done safely and in a timely manner for everybody to hopefully get home if they need to. So, yes, we will be closed today.
But you do have, as you said, you do have bodies in the building because you have to have people up there to look after the critters and whatnot. But it is closed to the public. So anything we talk about today, you can't go to the shelter today. Hopefully you'll be able to get open once we get all this nasty weather behind us. Let's talk about our Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week. His name is Phil, and as always, the picture is posted on Dave Allen Radio on Facebook and on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. But this time around, Hannah, not just a picture. Phil has his own Reels video. Now, that's a first for the Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week. I just saw that on your guys' page a couple days ago. So instead of just putting the picture up, I shared that. The Reels, the video. Phil's got his own music video. He's a star now. Tell us about Phil.
Yes, so he is about 10 months old. He's not fixed yet, but he definitely will be. He is microchipped and vaccinated, so he is ready to go home. He came in as a stray to us, so we don't really know like his back history or anything like that, but we definitely know what we know since he's been with us, and he has been nothing but just a ball of energy and super playful. He loves attention from people and other dogs from what I've heard. I haven't seen him with the other dogs in the play groups, but I do know that he does go to play groups. He's got so much energy, so he would do well with another dog that has energy like him, but he would also do fine, I'm sure, on his own if you are an energetic person yourself, or maybe like an outdoorsy person who likes to go on hikes, or even if you have like a big yard or a decent-sized yard for him to just run around in and throw the ball. He definitely loves playing with toys. He also very much loves treats as well. So he's a puppy. That's pretty much what he is. He's still learning how to walk on the leash and everything. He's just got a lot of energy, so he definitely needs someone who's patient with him and can maybe help him be kind of guided into the right direction with training and everything. But other than that, he is a very, very sweet pup. He is about 36-ish pounds and growing, I'm sure. He's going to be a little bit bigger of a boy, I'd say, but he's very sweet, and I love him. He's always in the back office, usually playing, running around, so I do get to see him.
Well, he's a beautiful dog, and again, if you want to go, not only can you see the picture, but you can also go see the video, the Reels, as I think they call it, that you folks did. He's an absolutely, absolutely beautiful dog, so if you get a chance, go check it out. And I want to talk about the weather, since that's what everyone's talking about. Any changes in when we have this, it seems like this winter's gone on, for 6 months, and it's actually only been a week of this. Any changes, though, that you guys would need for food, blankets, or do you tend to have more or less adoptions when we have a harsh winter? What kind of changes come with snowy winter weather?
So usually, yes, whenever it is snowier, we don't really have as many people come up to the shelter to adopt. But we still do see quite a few adoptions on snowy days. I know just the other day when we had a snowy day, we're still open to the public and everything, and we had quite a bit of adoptions. We had right under 10, I think, adoptions, but it was very, very nice to see that, we still are getting the dogs out. And as far as stuff that we need, I know that we're still needing blankets and towels and all that same stuff that we have been needing, especially fresh blankets to snuggle in. I know that we were kind of running a little bit low on those, so any extra blankets or sheets or any kind of old throws or anything that you have, we would definitely appreciate those. And then we also, of course, I think we were low a little bit on Purina dog chow and paper towels as well, so we definitely could use some of those things.
And that's a great way to help out the shelter because, if you're an animal lover, I know people, they have restrictions on the amount of animals that they can have. Maybe they live in a situation where they can't even have a pet or whatever. But if you love animals and you want to help out, that's an opportunity and a great way to do it. It's just by donations, whether it's cash donations or whether you said just some blankets and towels and things of that nature. And Hannah, I know with the bad weather, you folks haven't really had the chance to get out and about like you normally do, but the weather's going to get better. At least there's no snow or ice or cold temperatures forecast for next week. So hopefully we'll have you guys out and about and doing your adoption events out in public like you normally do.
Yes, we definitely hope so. And we are definitely taking the precautions with the dogs that we take out to play groups every day. They might not be able to stay out as long as they normally do just because of all the ice and the cold. So, right. But yes, we're definitely doing everything we can.
And again, you'll be out there again real soon. All right, before we let you go, someone asked me to ask you about the cat situation at the shelter because we always seem like we focus on dogs, but somebody had actually texted me and said, ask Hannah about the cats. How's the cat situation looking at the shelter?
So I know that currently right now we don't have too many cats. I know that we have our usual in cats in foster that are maybe not quite ready for adoption yet. So we have to make sure that we keep some kennels open for those that come back from foster. So of course we have some open cages and stuff, but I believe we don't really have very many cats available for adoption right now. But that is, it is the beginning of the year, and here in a couple of months, kitten season will be hitting again. So we're trying to prepare for that.
Kitten season's like, baseball season. It's the time that it's the sign that spring is here, I guess, when it's kitten season. All right, Hannah, stay safe. Again, the shelter will be closed to the public today, but there will be people on hand. If you have any questions or comments, you need to get in touch with the folks you can today, but they are closed to the public because of the weather. Stay safe, and we'll talk again next week. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hannah Gardner from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association with this week's Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week. Again, it's Phil. Love the name. Phil is 10 months old. He's not fixed yet, but he will be. Microchipped and vaccinated. Came in as a stray, fully sponsored, meaning he's free. And that's courtesy of the good folks at Caldwell Insurance Agency. Extremely playful, loves attention, very energetic, pulls on the leash just a little bit, but that could be worked through with a patient person. Probably need to have a big yard for him to play in. And again, I urge you to go to Dave Allen Radio on Facebook and look at the Reels video that they put together with Phil. I mean, this guy is a star. He's already got his own music, and he's got everything there. So go check out Phil on Dave Allen Radio on Facebook and also on X. It's the Dave Allen Show on X, or at Dave870 on the artist formerly known as Twitter, now known as X. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. The text of the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, our service of Fruth Pharmacy. Find the perfect over-the-counter hearing aids at Fruth. With NuvoMed hearing aids, plus Fruth makes it easier to transfer your prescription services to them. Fruth is your hometown family pharmacy and have been for 71 years. And phone calls to the show are a service of Biggly Piggly Wiggly. When shopping at your Biggly Piggly Wiggly, be sure to join their loyalty program. You can save big at the gas pumps and throughout the store with their electronic coupons and free gifts on Fridays just for stopping by. From farm to table, Biggly Piggly Wiggly, the best kept secret in Charleston. We're going to take a break. Coming up a little bit later on, our good friend meteorologist Spencer Adkins from StormTracker 13 will join us, as will Doug Cipoletti of the West Virginia Virtual Academy. It's School Choice Week coming up in West Virginia. We'll talk to Doug about that. We're back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you a physical therapy assistant and looking for an opportunity in orthopedics, wellness, and athletic care? If so, Generations Physical Therapy is offering flexible work hours and an upbeat atmosphere. With 7 convenient locations, Generations may have a job designed for you. Visit generationspt.com.
SUV that can handle any terrain or challenge, then you need to visit Thornhill GM Superstore on the Thornhill Motor Mile. Right now, you can get a $6,000 purchase allowance when you trade an eligible vehicle on the new GMC Sierra 1500. Or shop Thornhill's great selection of GMC terrain. You can enjoy 1.9% APR for well-qualified buyers on the small SUV that offers GMC Pro Safety Plus. Plus, you'll get a $500 purchase allowance and no payments for 90 days. Click or come by ThornhillGMSuperstore.com or on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119, Chapmanville. So factor G Financial, see Thornhill for all details.
Thrive with 5 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 5%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by a Poca Valley Bank location today or call 844-782-2651. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
Oh, the West Virginia hills. Did you know that some of the best music in the world is made right here in our own backyard? If you take the time to listen, you'll hear something good. Join me, the Appalachian Soul Man, Aristotle Jones, as I highlight new music from West Virginia and Central Appalachia on Sounds Good to Me with Aristotle Jones. Saturday mornings at 8:06 on the Voice of Charleston, 580 WCHS. Oh, the West Virginia hills.
9:21. Welcome back to the show. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Snow is falling here in the Kanawha Valley. Roads are treacherous. Don't get out unless you absolutely have to be. I didn't today. Not everybody has that luxury, I understand. But we're going to talk to StormTracker 13 meteorologist Spencer Adkins coming up a little bit later on. West Virginia Hunting and Fishing Show, though, is going on as scheduled Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the Coliseum. We'll spend some time talking about that as well. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by General Hardware and Lumber of Winfield. Come check out their new contractor showroom, lumber yard, and more. They deliver service and quality right to your door. Don't buy until you get a quote from General Hardware and Lumber of Winfield. Doug Cipoletti of the West Virginia Virtual Academy joins us now. Doug, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Dave. I'm doing very well. How are you?
I am doing fine. You know, there's snow everywhere today in the Kanawha Valley. I have to ask, is today a snow day for the Virtual Academy kids?
It actually is not. We do have that option for our kids, but we started our second semester on Tuesday, and from where we are a virtual school, we took advantage of this time to make sure that we got our kids all ready to go for second semester so we can hit the ground running next week. So we don't have too much in store for them today, but we do have some stuff that we got to take care of.
Well, hopefully they'll get out there to enjoy this a little bit. So I understand that School Choice Week is coming up. What exactly does that mean, and what goes on with School Choice Week?
So National School Choice Week is a national week where across the country there's a lot of different organizations that set up events where different vendors can come in and talk about all the different options that are available for educating the kids. In West Virginia, there's an event tomorrow, knock on wood, that it's still able to be held. It's going to be in Beckley at the Convention Center, I believe from 10 to 2. And then there's another event next Saturday on the 27th up in Morgantown. And basically, you know, you might have Kanawha County, Fayette County come to the one in Beckley, along with homeschool families, micro schools, private schools, charter schools. Obviously, we're going to have a booth at both events where if families are interested in learning about what we provide at West Virginia Virtual Academy, we'll have staff on site to answer questions and, you know, get to know families if they're interested in learning about remote learning.
And this is an opportunity, as you said, when you have these different events. I know you've had them throughout the state, Doug. As you said, you got one coming up in Beckley and also one in Morgantown. It's an opportunity for people just to come and get information about it. And as you said, all of the and I don't know what term that you prefer to use, but I guess the non-traditional systems of learning are represented from homeschooling to charter schools and things of that nature. Just an opportunity for parents to come and get information.
Yes, and we always have, you know, some administrators and teachers. So, you know, I remember last year we were in Morgantown and our second grade teacher was there, and there was families that were interested in their child signing up to be in second grade. And so they got to meet, you know, the teacher and talk to them and meet them face to face. And I think it's good for families to understand that while we are a virtual school, we are out in the public. We do a lot of field trips where we have face-to-face events for the socialization aspect for families. And we enjoy getting out there and meeting families who are interested in school choice and letting them know, you know, we're an option, and we'd love to help if they think that we could.
Talking to Doug Cipoletti again of the West Virginia Virtual Academy. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Meeks Realty Group. Discover the unrivaled expertise of Meeks, your ultimate partners in all things real estate. Whether it's your dream home or that ideal commercial space, Meeks Realty has you covered. Contact Rich the Realtor, 304-932-7488. Let Rich and the team guide you on your real estate journey. Take a look at all their listings at meeks.us. Doug, you know, I guess we're nearing the midway point, I would think, of the school year, and I'm talking about public schools now. And as we arrive at that point, do we generally see a lot of parents making the switch to a different type of learning, virtual schools, homeschooling, whatever, at this time of year? Is this when you start to get a few more phone calls, or is it the same? How does that work?
We generally do in December and January. As you know, a lot of times families want to finish the semester, you know, with where the kids are. It's less disruption on their education. But we're actually we're over 1,200 kids now. So we have tripled in growth since we started the school, and we continue to see we probably have 300 new kids starting with us that started with us second semester. So there's a lot of families that I think learn what we have to offer. I talked to a mom the other day and explained that we have an agreement and a partnership with Pierpont Community College, which, I'm happy to share with the audience. We just had our first group of kids actually earn college credit through Pierpont last semester, and they're signed up again this semester. So as families learn what we're able to provide, their interest is piqued, and they realize that they're going to have the opportunity for their children to be educated at a very high level with a lot of individualized support, and just a lot of options for kids. So yes, we have seen growth in the past couple months, and I think we'll continue to see that throughout second semester, the summer. We're adding 12th grade next year. I think I've told you, we started off as K-10. We added 11th grade this year. We're adding seniors next year. I wouldn't be surprised if we're serving 2,000 kids next year.
Wow, that's amazing. Doug Cipoletti again for the West Virginia Virtual Academy. And I think it's important, Doug, to and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think to kind of put it out there that you folks and the folks that do this for a living, your group or others, you're not the enemy of the public school system. You are just giving parents another option. And as you have said on the show before, if a child is doing well, they're thriving in the public school system, whether it's here in the Kanawha Valley or wherever it is, then more power to them. And that's awesome. I actually had a member of the legislature on not long ago on the show, Doug, and she had 3 or 4 kids, and some were homeschooled and some went to public school. So again, it's not necessarily an adversarial relationship that you have here. You're offering parents just another option if they choose that.
We are, and I do just want to clarify for the listeners, we are a public school.
Okay,
and,
that's my fault.
We have to administer, the required summative assessments. Our juniors we're serving this year, we have to provide them the SAT. So they'll be getting together here in a couple months. So we are a public school. There's no tuition, so we are just another school that families can do from the comfort of their own home, which that's something that we have really found with families is, and this was sort of I didn't realize what a benefit this was to families, but we talked to some families the other day, and they were just noting how much closer their family was, because the adults in the house are much more engaged with their child's learning, because they're sitting, they're helping them, and so they're connecting with the teacher on a much more regular basis. But because they have that time together during the day, that the family relationships are much, much stronger as a result of just being more involved and being with their kids every day. Which is a beautiful benefit for families. And I know some families want this option, but they can't afford it. There's no tuition. We're just a public school. We give them computers. We give them all the resources to be successful. We're able to provide things for families that I don't think anybody else can. And the proof is in the pudding. We've got a lot more families coming. And we just continue to grow. It's a good position to be in.
Thanks, Cipoletti, again from the West Virginia Virtual Academy, and I appreciate you making that distinction. Eventually, I've had you on the show 4 or 5 times. I'll get that through my head that it is a public school. I guess what I was trying to say was that you're not adversarial to a more traditional school system. This is a public school here we're talking about. You kind of touched on this a little bit, but I know we like to kind of highlight some success stories, and you sort of mentioned some in passing. Are there any other particular success stories that you'd like to share with us today? We don't need names or anything like that, but any to come off the top of your head?
This is something where there's so many just excellent stories of families. We got an email the other day from a student. They joined us back in the fall, and they essentially told us what an awful experience they had. They were bullied by not only their classmates, but actually, some of the adults. And they were real apprehensive. And basically, it was just a thank you email, thanking the teachers and the administration just for how much they cared and how compassionate they were and how much respect they were treated with. And that, we hear that all the time from families. They weren't getting what they needed in a traditional setting, and they get it with us. And I can't ever not compliment everybody that works at the school. I think the staff members that we have are the most compassionate, caring educators I've had the pleasure of working with. And I think, word of mouth, I think when a family has a good experience and they start telling their friends about this amazing teacher, other people in the community are saying, wait, you mean there are teachers that do that? Yeah, and we do. We have an amazing staff that are the driver of all of those success stories.
Well, that's you guys are doing great work there. Go ahead.
I was just going to say,
ahead,
and as we are growing, if any listener out there is interested in joining our team, I would encourage them to go to our website, wvva.k12.com. You can scroll to the bottom. We have a couple openings right now, and as we grow, we're going to continue to have needs. So if you're interested, please take a look at us. You can call me directly at 304-807-9370. My direct extension is 1001. If you have any questions and you're interested in joining us, please reach out.
Yeah, and that was actually going to be – see, you're becoming an old pro at this because that was going to be my next thing was the contact information. You've already jumped all in there, and I appreciate you doing that. Again, let's just kind of recap. We had you on to talk about School Choice Week. You got these events going on, as you said, weather permitting. Again, give us the information on these public events that you're doing in Beckley and Morgantown again.
Yeah, so tomorrow at the Armory in Beckley, there is a school choice fair. I believe the hours are from 10 to 2, and that's in Beckley tomorrow, the 20th. And then there is an event on the 27th up in Morgantown, and I believe that event is from 10 to 1.
All right, and again, give us your contact information, the website, and your direct phone number again.
Absolutely. The website is wvva.k12.com. which you'll notice at the very top there, we're still taking enrollment. So if you want to enroll your kids, you'll see the link right there at the top. So you can definitely still get in. We're not closed. And then you're welcome to call as well, 304-807-9370. And if you want to talk to me directly, my extension is 1001.
All right, Doug, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Good luck with everything. Keep doing good stuff. We'll talk to you soon, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you. Stay safe out there, Dave.
All right, Doug Cipoletti again for the West Virginia Academy. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you by Pinnacle Consultancy, only accredited commercial lab in West Virginia for asbestos and mold. Asbestos was banned in some building products, but not banned for all products in the U.S. Don't expose your family or your workers to asbestos, mold, or lead paint. Get with Pinnacle Consultancy. Offer real estate environmental assessments for hazardous materials and air quality. Visit pinnaclecorp.net. That's pinnaclecorp.net. Because what you don't know can hurt you. And, I want to go ahead and get this before we go to break, Ryan. I got a text from my good friend, Joe Stevens. Joe is a frequent guest on the show, and he's kind of like a few other people I know. He does 2 or 3 different jobs. And one of the things that Joe does, in addition to kind of being the spokesperson for the city of Nitro, Joe is also, I think, the head, or if not, he should be, of the Ski Association of West Virginia. And every time that Joe hears me go on the air and refer to this snow as being nasty, he reminds me of what a multi-million-dollar a year industry that the skiing industry is in West Virginia, and how they love this stuff. And point well taken, Joe. And Joe actually is going to be on the show next Tuesday to talk about that. But by that time, temperatures are going to be warming up, but the ski season will continue. And as I sit here in my home and I'm watching the snow continue to fall, I may refer to it as nastiness. You may refer to it, but There's a lot of people that like it, and it does bring a whole lot of money to West Virginia. So point well taken, Joe. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Spencer Adkins with StormTracker 13 is on the way next. And for Joe Stevens' sake, I'll say Spencer Adkins is here to talk about all this lovely weather coming up right after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
Hello, I am Judge Stephanie Abraham, and I am running for Circuit Court here in Kanawha County.
Judge Stephanie Abraham was appointed to the Circuit Court by Governor Jim Justice. Judge Stephanie Abraham owned and managed her own law firm and was an attorney for the Department of Education and general counsel for the State Board of Education. Judge Stephanie Abraham is a fair and balanced but tough judge who will always follow the Constitution to protect liberty and achieve justice for all.
I am Judge Stephanie Abraham. I appreciate your vote for Kanawha County Circuit Court.
Paid for by the committee to elect Judge Stephanie Abraham.
West Virginia's top high school basketball talent will come together February the 5th through the 8th on the campus of West Virginia State University as Game Changer and Parmar stores present the Parmar Shootout. The shootout has been extended to 4 full days this year. Come see the top boys and girls teams in the state battle it out, 32 games in all. The first games tip off at 9:30 each morning. Game Changer and Parmar stores present the Parmar Shootout on the campus of West Virginia State University February 5th through the 8th. For a complete list of games, visit Parmar stores on Facebook and X. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
22 minutes away from 10. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. Welcome back to the Dave Allen Show. 580 Live, Voice of Charleston, WCHS. Bigly Piggly Wiggly Hotline, 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text, 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. Brought to you by Bridge Valley. Are you interested in improving your company's IT workforce? Well, did you know that Bridge Valley offers custom-tailored IT training to bridge the skills gap? At Bridge Valley, you can train for little or no cost. With a 50-50 salary match, Bridge Valley can also supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu/apprenticeships today. Spencer Adkins from StormTracker 13 Weather joins us right now. Spencer, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning. How are you, Dave?
I'm doing fine. You know, I was hanging out there last Friday. I told the listeners I went to had to do some recording there for a television spot that I did, and I came by 13 there. And one of the sales weasels there, Rich West, hooked me up with a Spencer Adkins bobblehead, limited edition Spencer Adkins bobblehead, and it's actually in the control room at 11:11. I am at my home today, but you are watching things there at 11:11 in the Parmar Store studio. Just so you know, your bobblehead.
Oh, that's fantastic. Always on duty then. I love that. That's great.
All right, I mentioned this at the top of the show, Spencer. This has been the longest winter in history, and it's all been in 1 week. It's like this has been the longest winter ever. Talk about that.
Yeah, so it's funny because a couple of different people I was talking to, and Brian, who was up this morning working behind the scenes, he's had a little bit of work done on his foot, so he's doing okay now. But he was actually doing the computer, and he says, "You realize all the schools in West Virginia are closed." I said, "Okay, that's interesting." Well, I mean, you can kind of see that makes sense. And then I talked to Joe Stevens, who's with the skiing. He's somebody.
I know. I've already heard from Joe this morning. I've already heard. He's taken issue with me because I referred to it as nastiness, and he's already texted me up, Spencer, and said this is gold falling from the sky, was what he said.
Yes. Well, so he says every skiing facility is open, every whatever we call it, ski runs and tubing runs. I said, so all the schools are closed and all the skiing stuff is open. Oh yeah, we haven't had anything like this forever. That's just that's the way it's been. And so this is what we had. 2.9 inches of snow all last winter. This year we just had that this morning. So it's amazing that we've really changed things. And what's also really odd is that, El Nino, well, this is supposed to be less snow than normal. Well, okay, normal would be about, I think it's something in the upper 20s, 20-some inches. Well, the last 2 years were the opposite with La Nina. We were supposed to have more snow. We didn't have any, and here we are. We're supposed to have less, and we've had more. So This is why I don't deal in the real long-term stuff. 7 days is about long enough to deal with.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here in my home right now in Tays Valley looking at it. It is still pouring down here in Tays Valley right now. There's been no let up. So what can we look forward for the rest of the day, and when is this all going to end?
Right. So you are in a patch of snow that extends from you real strongly down toward Madison, Chapmanville, but that's going to slide east. So this will go through the Charleston area, and, we're talking about before lunchtime. Then we'll get into some squalls. It'll turn very light. We'll get into some squalls. Kudos to the crews who got out, and salt has worked great because our temperature's been just below freezing, so salt is really efficient. It's kind of a wet snow. So this will melt. My problem that I have is that tonight it's like flash freeze. We're going down to 10 degrees tonight. So if you have all this wet stuff sitting around, not necessarily great. It's okay now to drive on the main roads. Back roads, not great at all. But the areas that jumped on, they really did a great job. But it's all going to freeze up tonight. 10 degrees and the salt doesn't really work that well. So late tonight, real early tomorrow morning, probably going to be a bit of a skating rink. We want everybody to be careful with that. Then the next week, we're in the 50s, even close to 60, and it's going to rain. And so then we'll watch small streams or creeks might have some water to watch out for.
It's always something, and I would imagine that the majority of, Friday night's a big high school basketball night around the state of West Virginia. I'd imagine that all the games, I would think, would all be canceled. And I know we have the West Virginia Hunting and Fishing Show going on over at the Coliseum and Convention Center. That is still going to be going on. So by the time, let's say, Sunday rolls around, we're still going to be quite cold, but the system will be well out of here by that point.
Yeah, exactly. So things will turn sunny. It's going to be real brisk, single digits then on Sunday night and then Monday night. And then we get really big in a warm-up. It's just unbelievable how we'll turn the corner into the 40s and 50s. So we do see this. By the way, today is the 30th anniversary of just a monster cold snap. It was 16 below in Charleston in the morning on 1996 on this day. And it's funny how it must have been something that I completely wanted to repress. I can't remember, but I look back at the stats and I go, oh, that must have been really bad. And it was. Like, Tays Valley was like, it was like 25 below, if I recall right. I mean, just unbelievable. So
yeah, I remember it. I remember it well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was nasty stuff.
How was and I know you said, and I appreciate, the fact that that you guys are honest in your forecasting and what. Not saying that the other guys aren't. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you guys just kind of put it out there as, okay, this is real. This is what we can expect. And you don't really get into long range calls, but I'm going to ask you to do that for a moment. So for the rest of the winter, I mean, what's your overall, and I'm not asking specifics, overall forecast for the rest of the winter, because a lot of us are already over it, and it's only been going on for about 4 or 5 days.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, somebody did mention that to me. They were like, it's just the old, well, when I was a kid, we had longer winters. Well, we kind of did. But, yeah, in 1 week we picked up twice what we've had in the past year. Again, kind of just looking at the second half of the month, it does seem warmer. February, not really studying too much long range, not to back out of it too much, but I'm not going to be surprised if we don't see another 2 or 3 of these kind of episodes. It's just active. Pattern's active. We've been seeing things come out of the northwest that kind of pivot all the way down to the Gulf, and then they pop right back up our way. And, you see that wave train until you don't in my end of the game. So you're saying 2, 3 more of these. I think this is the year. And, that's hey, the one thing that I noticed, too, they got a lot of salt. You know why? Because it's a contracted thing. And so they didn't use any the past 2 years. They're good. They're ready. We can handle that if we get another 2 or 3 of these.
And we've been spoiled, as you said, the last couple of winters. I mean, we haven't had a whole lot to deal with, Spencer, and so we've been kind of spoiled. Last year we had that real cold snap around Christmas, and then that was pretty much it after that, And
it is true. I did ask a couple, like ODOT and some other people. They said, yeah, well, we contract all that stuff, so we get X tons. We didn't use it. The next year we got the same amount, and we didn't use it. So we got basically 2 years' worth of salt sitting there, so there's really no excuse for them to not use salt. They used it healthily around town in Charleston, I can tell you that. did a wonderful job everywhere the salt was put down. So, we complain about the potholes, we gripe about the roads, but I'll tip my hat when they did a good job. And on the main road, they did a good job today.
All right. Before we let you go, I'm going to have a little fun with you here a little bit.
Sure.
And I saw that sometimes, the world of social media is a wonderful thing until it's not.
Right.
And I know earlier this week there were people that were, and I guess some were well-meaning, but other ones maybe just trying to stir some stuff, by taking older maps and sharing them. Again, I'm looking out my window right now. You said we got about 2 or 3 inches of snow. Some areas get a little bit more. Some areas get a little bit less. Certainly not the 12 to 15 or 16 that was being shared on social media of some old maps that you guys had put up from I think it was 2016 or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's got to be frustrating for you guys.
It is to a degree. It's funny because when it first started happening, there was, I forget what year it was, but when we actually had the big 20 inches and 16 inches, this goes way back. And, you don't think that, I guess we should have always thought, make sure you put a timestamp on it. Well, even now the ones that we do, we try and put in the corner so it's kind of obscure, and people will either go clip that out or whatever, then they'll reshare something old. So I just had a little fun and just called people. I'm like, well, if you're all going to stir it, I'll stir it back. That's fine, whatever. But it's old. It's not with, So you're right. Some of that stuff you never think is going to come back, and then it did. And so just be discerning when you see a map that looks really big and you're like, whoa, nobody else has got that. Go back and look and make sure that it's not something that's old that somebody's repurposing just to get you going.
There's a reason why nobody else has that, because it's from 4 or 5 years ago. Well, now, being a big NFL guy, and my season ended last Sunday with the loss of the Cowboys to the Packers. I will say this. All of my focus right now, because I'm also a Steelers fan too. I know as a Cowboy fan, you're not supposed to be a Steeler fan, but I'm kind of a Steeler fan. They're out. I'm putting all of my interest and all my rooting powers behind Detroit from this point forward. I love Dan Campbell. He's a former Cowboy. I watched him on Hard Knocks. I love his style of coaching. You guys and my buddy Steve Animal at 98.7 The Mountain, you've suffered long enough. Let's go Lions in the playoffs from this point on.
Fantastic. And not only that, but come on, let's also remember, before that, they were out of Portsmouth, Ohio, before they were the Detroit team. So we have a local rooting interest. They are, for all purposes, our NFL team.
They were the Spartans, right?
They were the Portsmouth Spartans, that's right. And then they moved in 34. So, hey, come on, get on board. Of course, you and I were in junior high back then when they did that. But, get on the bus, get on board. Detroit all the way to the Super Bowl. Let's take it.
All right, Spencer, I know you got to get back to work. I appreciate the job that you and the injured Brian Hughes, Chris, you guys do with the weather and StormTracker 13. Thanks a lot. Be safe. We'll talk soon, man. Thanks a lot.
Okay, everybody be careful. Thanks. Have a good day.
Spencer Adkins, StormTracker 13, one of the best in the business. He's one of the truly good guys. They do a great job over there over at StormTracker 13. Love to have a little fun with Spencer, and that's Spencer bobblehead, man. I'm telling you, it's rocking. I'm not there today, but I know Ryan's taking close care of it back at the Parmar Store studio. The Dave Allen Show at 580 Live is brought to you in part by Brightway, the Mays agency of Chase Valley. Buying auto insurance can be complicated. That's why you need a local person to look out for you. At Brightway, the Mays agency, they can customize your policies with coverages you need to want. Call John and Sherry Mays, 304-814-2509, or visit brightwaymays.com. We'll take a break. We're back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses have been creating jobs in West Virginia since 1997.
Nearly every day, there's a company announcing new jobs in West Virginia. Thanks to the leadership of State Senator Eric Nelson, West Virginia's economy is growing and our future looks bright. Senator Eric Nelson has been part of the team advancing important pro-growth policies. And because Senator Eric Nelson has helped control government spending, West Virginians are receiving the biggest tax cut in our state's history. Vote for more jobs. Vote for lower taxes. Vote for State Senator Eric Nelson. Paid for by the committee to elect Eric Nelson.
Ready for a different banking experience? Become a member at Members Choice West Virginia Federal Credit Union and learn what it means to be a part of the credit union movement.
MCWV is a not-for-profit organization with a mission to provide quality financial products and services, low loan rates and terms, and accounts to fit your unique needs.
As a member, you're also an owner of the credit union with voting rights, dividends, and are a part of the support given to our community.
Become a member today at 201 Ohio Avenue in Charleston or online at memberschoicewv.com. Restrictions may apply.
Member of the NCUA. If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
$9:52. Welcome back. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you part by Huston's Pizza. This month at your favorite Huston's, get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and an order of appetizer meatballs, only $24.99. Dine-in, delivery, or pickup. Visit Huston'sPizza.com. And in the heart of West Virginia, there exists a profound force that goes beyond the realm of sports, transcending limitations and fostering a sense of belonging. Talking about Special Olympics, a remarkable initiative showcased in the latest episode of West Virginia Enriched in collaboration with Huntington stands as a testament to the power of determination, unity, and unwavering support. See a video highlighting the Special Olympics at Facebook.com/580 WCHS. Well, the West Virginia Hunting and Fishing Show gets underway later today at the Coliseum and Convention Center. The return of Chris Lawrence, too, the Bionic Man, rebuilt, bigger, better, stronger, faster. Chris is going to be there throughout the weekend. He's been recovering from hip replacement surgery, but he's back. And like I said earlier, man, he's not going to miss the Hunting and Fishing Show. He'll be back in the saddle again, broadcasting live over there. Also, our sister station, 96.1 KWS, broadcasting live from there today and tomorrow. Most of us from the Radio Ranch will be there at one point or another throughout the weekend. I think I'm scheduled to be there on Sunday. The hours are noon till 9 today, 9 to 9 Saturday, and 10 to 5 on Sunday. Admission price is $12 for those 13 and up and free for those under that. So we are looking forward to seeing you over there. Get there safely, though, to the West Virginia Hunting and Fishing Show over at the Coliseum and Convention Center. The Kanawha County Board of Education has a seat to fill. Now, you'll recall that board member Ryan White stepped down to run for the State Intermediate Court of Appeals. The board says that they have narrowed down their choices now to 5. There were 16 candidates, as I understand, that had applied, according to the board. And again, they've narrowed that field down to 5. The term will run through June 30th. And whoever is appointed will have to run for re-election, though during the May primary. The board says that they do plan to fill the seats soon. I think we have a story posted about that on the website. I know that we had been following that story closely, and as soon as we get who that person that will be sitting on the Kanawha County Board of Education is, we will let you know about it. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Well, I, like a lot of people, will be carefully watching what happens at the state Republican Party meeting that actually was scheduled to be held this weekend, but we understand, I know Brad has a story posted about it, that it actually has been postponed. The state GOP was set to meet this weekend in Charleston, but because of the weather, I understand, and again, Brad's got the full details on that. I think that meeting has been postponed. There is a lot of goings on there when they do eventually have the meeting. They're going to be choosing a new head of the party, as it is presumed that Elgin McCardle, who was on with Hoppy earlier this week, is going to be stepping down to possibly run for a judicial position. And, of course, the big story out of there, the Republican Party, and I talked about this a little on the show the last couple of days, the Republican Party is looking at closing the primary, meaning that only Republicans could vote for Republican candidates. Now, as it stands now, again, and I've talked about this on the show before, if I am a registered independent, when I go into the polling place, I can declare to a poll worker when I check in that, yes, I am an independent, unaffiliated, whatever the term, but I would like to have a Republican or a Democratic ballot. And that's the way it's been. And this is not up to the Secretary of State's office. This is actually up to the individual parties to decide this. Because somebody asked me that the other day. They said, well, how can the Republican Party just change it? Well, they change it for their own party because they pretty much each party sets their own rules. And so up until now, it's been what's known as an open primary. If I am an independent, I could go in, I check in my polling place, I say, hey, I'm here to vote. I am a independent, but I would like a Republican ballot or a Democratic ballot. There are some within the Republican Party who want to stop that practice and allow only those who are Republicans to vote for other Republicans. And I've said it before, just the opinion of me and the opinion of no one else, I think it's a mistake on the behalf of the Republican Party. There are a lot of people that are registered as independent or no party, and a lot of those people tend to vote Republican in West Virginia. Independent or no party is a pretty fast-growing party, or lack of party, if you will, in the state. And if it goes down like some would like in the Republican Party, then if I'm an independent, when I go to vote, I would only be allowed to vote for nonpartisan races, your school board, judges, magistrates, and things of that nature. Now, again, I have been told by some people within the Republican Party that the reason that they are doing this is that they want to weed out what they call rhinos, Republicans in name only. Not sure who made you God over all that, but I do digress. Again, we'll see what happens. The meeting was scheduled for tomorrow in Charleston. I understand it's been postponed, so they'll probably take that up when they actually do get the meeting in. The filing period, if you're going to run for office, ends midnight January 27th. That's 1 week from tomorrow. And as I told listeners yesterday, I want to close with this. I'm going to have to start limiting the amount of time that candidates will get on to be on the show. So if you're a candidate for an office, you get one shot on the show after the filing period is over, January 27th. Best way to get on is to just drop me an email, dave.allen@wvradio.com, dave.allen@wvradio.com. Now, if it's a legitimate news story, something out of the legislature, or I need to put on a sheriff or the governor or whatever, that's a little bit different. But just to get on and just to talk about your candidacy, you get one time after January 27th. Drop me an email, dave.allen@wvradio.com. All right, be careful on the roads today, folks, or better yet, just stay in like I did. I'll be back on Monday. Gubernatorial candidate Chris Miller will be with us, Secretary of State candidate Chris Britt, and Jesse Troyan from the Cardinal Institute on the show on Monday. Have yourself a great weekend. Ryan Nicholson, thank you so much. I will see you Monday. Hobby coming up after the news. See you Monday. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS AM, 96.5 FM Charleston, 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.